Hello, fellow detectorists. Yes, here we are again. We're back out. It's Saturday, the 14th of September. I'm out on permission number 2. I've got here nice and early. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I was surprised because driving over here this morning, the temperature on my car was telling me 5 degrees, and that's usually quite accurate. It was cold. It's warmed up a bit now since I've been here. But like I say, I'm on permission number 2. They have either harrowed or ploughed a couple of fields here, 2 or 3 fields here. I have had a couple of finds already. I'll show you those right now. I decided to come up here onto permission number 2 because last couple of weeks I've been on permission number 1, so I knew they should have done something up here by now, and of course they have done. It's lovely flat calm at the moment, but I should imagine the wind will get up. This field has definitely been ploughed, I can tell that, which is good. It's the first ploughed field I've been onto this year, I believe, with the ORX. So now I'll show you these finds I've had so far, and I've had a few actually. I've got a buckle fragment here. It looks like it might be fairly old. A little Tudor ball button, still got its shank. Part of a rivet, that might not be so old. And I've just here, quite a nice little bag seal. There's something stamped on there. Can't quite make out what. That's definitely a little bag seal. Now last weekend I was out on permission number 1 and I was switching between programs. I went on to Coin Fast, and somebody did ask me because why I changed to Coin Fast, and just quickly, it was because my favourite program so far that I've been using all through the springtime in the parkland is Coin Deep on 14 kilohertz, and I was finding a lot of stuff on with that in the parkland on the fairly hard sort of ground. And I was trying that on the harrowed field, and I didn't think I was getting very much. So I changed to Coin Fast, mainly to because I thought the detector was too sensitive, and I was trying to get too much out of it and trying to get too much depth. And so I wanted to try and bring that down a bit. So I went to Coin Fast, just bring it up a bit shallow, and you can still get a good, 5, 6, 7 inches depth with Coin Fast, and deeper if the ground conditions are right and it's not too light and fluffy. So, and I tried that, and I had that little hammered coin and that farthing, and I was getting a few more targets with Coin Fast. So here, where I've got stubble, harrowed fields and ploughed fields, I will be switching between them. I've also upped the sensitivity slightly from 90 to 95, and I've reduced down the discrimination from 7 down to 6. So I've noticed a couple of people doing that on the videos I've been watching. So I'm going to try that here today. And like I say, so far I've had these targets. So anyway, we'll carry on. I'll stop waffling on now, and we'll see what we find over these fields. Bye for now. Hello folks, we just had our next target and it is a coin, and this looks quite interesting. It's very, very thin. I'm not saying it's silver or anything like that, but I think it's a little farthing, or I'm sure, pretty sure, I can almost see a date on there. You can probably see more than me, but I think that's a Britannia side, and this side should be a bust. But I'm going to have to clean that up when I get home. It's really badly scaled, and I can't tell what this is yet. It's probably a George II, could be a George I. But anyway, bye for now, let's carry on. Here we go folks, we've got quite a nice little find here. I found one of these before on one of my previous outings on permission number 1. Now I can't remember the proper name for the shape of the top of this. Is it hex? Oh, I can't remember it. It's hexus something. But that is on the top of that, look, and it's bent like that. Now some people say these could be either Saxon or Roman pins. I think it's, I looked on the defines.org database, and you do get these, and these are usually penannular type brooches, and they arch right round, and you have another one of these on the other side, and they're quite sort of decorative type brooches. Now, as to what time period, I'm not sure. It could be late Roman, could be Saxon, could be early medieval, but I think, well, the safest bet would be early medieval. Somebody out there, I'm sure, will know more details than me, but I think because of the shape of that, that is another one of these penannular type brooches that come round and have another one of these on the other side. So that's lovely. I'm really pleased with that. I only ever found one of these before, like I say, on permission number 1 on what I call my Roman field, and yes, lovely. I'm now coming up to an area, actually, I didn't show it on my previous video, but I'm coming up to an area here now on this field where I went round it in the winter time or early springtime when I went round the margins, and sitting right on top of the grass right next to the ploughed field, I should imagine it was thrown there by the plough, was a piece of pottery, and it looked like a very small piece of flat tile, very Roman orangey pottery sort of coloured. And when I wetted it and cleaned it, one side of it was very, very light blue painted, and I've still got that piece at home somewhere. If I find it, I'll show a picture of it, possibly. But I'm now coming up to that area, so whether there is history here, well, it looks like it, judging by this piece here. The only other bit I found in this spot was a spindle whorl. This field actually is, I've come onto here specifically with the ORX because it's my nemesis, if you like. I don't find very much on this field at all. Out of the 5 fields that are here, this is possibly the quietest one. Why did I come here with the Orcs? Well, of course I wanted to test it. And so far, it's been doing quite well. I've had the coin, I've had those other bits, and now I've had this. So far today, I know it's been ploughed and it's harrowed, which does help, obviously. But so far, the ORX is doing quite well on this field. and this is normally a quiet field for me. Anyway, let's carry on. I'll get closer to that area where I found that bit of pottery. Hello folks, just had another quite nice little find here. It's another coin, and as you can see, it's a little silver. So Georgius VI. I'm guessing it's a sixpence. Yeah, sixpence, 1945. That's nice. Nice little silver sixpence. It came from just down here near my detector, of course. And what I've done, I've changed my settings slightly yet again. What I'm doing now is I'm now on, I don't know if you can see it on there, hopefully you can. I'm on Coin Deep. When you choose Coin Deep, you've got a choice, of course, either 14.4, I think it's, is it 30 or 31 point something, and the 54 kilohertz ranges, and you can alter those slightly up or down. So I put it on the 30 kilohertz one, and I've put it on its lowest setting on the 30 kilohertz one, which is 26.6. I've also gone on to the discrimination. I've put up slightly. It was on 7 as standard, but I lowered it to 6. I thought that was a little bit too far, so I brought it back up again to 6.5. Sensitivity is still on 95. On the standard Coin Deep program it's on 90, so I brought that up to 95. So that's what I'm using at the moment. The only changes I've done: sensitivity 95, frequency 26.6, and discrimination 6.5. And I've been trying that the last 10 minutes or so, and that's what I've just had this little silver sixpence on. I've done this mainly because on this very rough, ploughed, harrowed surface, I'm losing a bit of depth. So I feel as though it's justified at the moment to go on to Coin Deep. I'm swaying towards Coin Fast because, like I said earlier, Coin Fast shouldn't be ignored. I know everybody, we're all the same, detectorists. We try, we'd like to get, and we try to get, you know, the maximum depth we can, unless you do realise that sometimes the conditions don't allow that, and you have to back off a bit. So I'm trying different things today. I forgot also to say in my little intro, I'm actually on holiday this week, so you're going to get a video hopefully of me out today. I'll be out on Monday, Wednesday and the following Saturday, so you're going to get 4 videos this week, folks. A bonanza. So as long as weather permitting and all sort of, we should be okay this week. But like I say, I'll kind of continue on this field for a moment. I'm getting finds on here now, whereas when I had my Gold Max on here, I wasn't getting so many. So we'll see, we'll carry on. But that's what I just had, that little silver sixpence. Let's see what comes out next. Here we go, folks. Quite a nice little find, and it's that, look. I think it was decorated on the top here, maybe at one time. I can see some vague marks on there, and it's got this little ring on the end, look, still in a loop, and what's left of a little iron rivet or some type of fixing there. So I should imagine this might have been a little strap end or a little belt end. Probably went on to the end of, like I say, a very thin narrow belt, and then the other end would have had a hook that hooked into this, I'm guessing. But that's quite nice. Looks very old. I'm lucky to still have the ring on there. When I pulled it out of the ground, that was folded over like that and all packed with dirt, so that's probably why that's still there. Lovely. That's nice. Anyway, let's carry on. I'm in an area here. I'm on the same field, but I'm in an area here where I have had a couple of finds before. I had like a lead stylus from here, and a couple of small cast buckles. That's better. Still, let's see what the next one is. Bye for now. Here we go, folks. Had a nice little target here, and yes, we've got ourselves a hammered coin. And look, it's a Lizzie, I believe. Now this is interesting because it was giving me a really good signal, a really good tone, but it wasn't bringing up no matter what I tried. I went at it from different angles, still getting the same tone, but it wouldn't give me any figures on the display. It was only when I dug the hole, and it was just here, it's difficult to see on the surface, but it was down a little way. It was only when I got it out of the hole and it was still covered with the dirt that I went over it again, and it showed 72. But when it was in the ground, I couldn't get any figures to come up on the display. So, but it was a very, very good sounding tone. Let me just give it a spray. Yeah, there we go, look. That's lovely. Now that's the first time I've had a hammered coin off of this field. Like I say, this field is usually my nemesis field. There we are, lovely, look. You can still see the portrait on this one quite well. Normally they're all sort of polished off. That's great. Lovely. So that's an interesting one. Like I say, the only reason I did dig it was because it gave such a good tone. No display figures. Not until it came out of the ground, still covered with the dirt because I went over it. And then it gave us 72. Anyway, let's carry on. Lovely. Now then folks, we've got our next find, and it's come from just down here, and it's a buckle. But it's got to be the biggest one I've ever had. How about that? That must be a big horse harness type buckle, I should imagine. But that's huge. You see the slot there, look where the pin used to go. How about that? I should imagine that was a girth strap buckle, because on the horses you have other big buckles as well, but the only one that really springs to mind is when you have a saddle on a horse, you have this big strap that goes round, basically around the tummy or the belly of the horse, and they have these big buckles on them, and they call them girth straps, and you have to make sure they're just the right tightness before you get on your horse and go riding. But I should imagine that's probably what that is, something like that. That's got to be my biggest ever buckle. Anyway, we'll carry on. Bye for now. Here we are folks, we've got our next field here in front of us. It took me a little walk to get here. I had to come across another big stubble field. I did detect as I came along fairly quickly, to be honest. I did get one gold gilded button. You'll probably see that in a roundup at the end. But I only sort of scooted across the field so I could get to this one that's here in front of us, which is another one which has been ploughed and harrowed. And just over here is where I had a few hammered coins, and I've had a couple in the middle of the field as well. So we'll wander around in this one and see what happens. I'll probably spend the rest of the day in this field here. It's now nearly 1 o'clock and I'll be going at 5, so we'll spend the rest of the afternoon, like I say, here and see what we get. Bye for now. Right then folks, I've got one here for you. I've walked literally from where I am of here, obviously, up to that, from that tree there in the corner of the field is where I just did my last little video clip. And I walked along here, and just here I had a good sounding signal. And yes, look what I've done. I can't believe it. Look what I've done. Gold! Now, I believe that is a Queen Victoria sovereign. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look up. But it's got what looks like a centurion on a horseback with a sword. And it is dated 1899. How about that? That's lovely. I can't believe it. All I've done is I've given it a gentle little wet and just get the dirt off, but it's more or less come out like this, as they do apparently. I had one gold coin before, but this is number 2. How about that? 1899, and I think that goes as a Queen Victoria sovereign, but I might be mistaken. That's lovely. I can't believe it. It's in excellent condition. How about that? That's brilliant. Anyway, I'll get some info for you on this very shortly, I should imagine, and some pictures. I'm definitely going to try this area here. That's brilliant. Anyway, bye for now. Here we go, folks. We've got another target here, and I've seen it on the... I've turned the soil out and I can see it, and it looks quite nice from here. It is a buckle, I'll tell you that now. It's not another coin, but I'll take you down. Now, can I see it on the camera? It's just here, look. That's one of these quite old looking buckles. That's lovely. Look at that. Let me just give this a bit of a clean up and I'll be straight back with you. It's been a while since I've had a buckle like this. I do like these. Anyway, see you in a moment. Yes, here we go, folks. Look. Lovely. Now I think they're about 12th, 13th century, something like that, buckles like this. At least 1400s. I think they go normally as 12 to 1400s, so that's lovely. It's intact as well. That's great. Anyway, let's carry on. Here we are, folks. Our next find is a tiny, tiny little bird ring. And I think that says Arnhem on there, Holland. This is absolutely tiny. Must have been on a very, very small bird. I quite like finding these little bird rings because they're interesting, and it just goes to show that the detector's doing its job, finding tiny little targets like that. Anyway, let's carry on. Hello folks, got ourselves another target, and it is another buckle. That one's a decent size. Again, well, this could be off somebody's belt. It looks more like the right size for a belt strap or belt buckle strap. Anyway, just carry on. I'm heading back towards the car now, so anything I find now will be on the way back. Bye for now.